All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It's Monday. Welcome to a case of the Mondays. I don't know about you, but those usually hit me pretty hard. Hope you had a good weekend. We're on a roll here in the cave. That'll break up sometime this week. But anyway, we'll try to keep this thing going as long as we can. What are you guys listening to these days? Any new stuff? I mean, this isn't new, but we've been really getting into Casey Musgraves lately up here in my house. But anyway, what are we talking about today? We're doing some classic rock. You can tell by the name already, but we're talking about the band Foreigner. We've covered some Foreigner here in the cave over the last 4 years. We've done Double Vision, one of my favorite albums by them, with some hugely underrated deep cuts on that one. And then we've covered Foreigner 4, Plenty, which was a massive hit. That was with a new lineup, a little bit of a lineup change. But in between, you got this record, and we haven't talked about this record yet, so I'm excited because here we go. It's not a band we haven't covered, but it's an album we haven't covered and a song we haven't covered. We're going back to September of 1979, the 70s. I love the 70s here in the cave. On a side note, when I started this, I thought for sure I was going to be able to get people to listen to 50s music and maybe even some 40s music. And, of course, the 60s. But over the years, I just didn't get a lot of traction. I don't know. You guys, you love the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That's where we're at. But I'm a huge 50s fan and 40s. And there's a lot of great 60s music out there. You guys want to hear some of that? I don't know. We'll see. But again, 1979. This is their third record, Head Games. And I heard this song the other day, and I said, you know what? We're doing this one because I feel like this one gets overlooked. Of course, Foreigner, made up of Brits and Americans, formed in 1976 in New York City by Lou Gramm, of course, great singer. Mick Jones, not to be confused with the Mick Jones in The Clash and of Big Audio Dynamite fame. Dennis Elliott, Al Greenwood, Ed Gagliardi. Sorry, Ed. And Ian McDonald. He was a founding member of King Crimson. Remember King Crimson? That had Robert Fripp and Greg Lake, who would later on inform Emerson, Lake and Palmer, which you all know, brain salad surgery. And then the offshoot of that was, what was that Touch and Go song? Emerson and Powell? Anyway, yeah, I digress. In any event, they put out that first record. Their first 6 records were multi-platinum. That's pretty cool. This record went to number 5, sold 5 million copies. They've sold 80 million records worldwide. The cover of this record, there was some controversy about it. They claim it's all innocent, the picture of this model in the bathroom. But that model is Lisanne Falk. And she was a model and became an actress. And of note, she was one of the Heathers in the movie Heathers. She was the cheerleader captain, the blonde one, the nicest of all. Remember that Winona Ryder movie that was so good? If you haven't seen Heathers, if you've never seen it, you must see it. And if you haven't seen it in a long time, you're going to watch it again. Anyway, first single off this record was Dirty White Boy. That's a good one. That went to number 12. They had a second single off of this, Women, and I was not familiar with that song. I don't know if you are, but I was not. The third single was two different singles. There was one released in the United States, and then there was the one that was released everywhere else in the world. And it was the title track, Head Games, was released in the United States, which went to number, what did it go to? It was in the top 15 or something? Number 5 or something? Anyway, I don't know. But that wasn't the third single released in other countries. That was Love on the Telephone, which I don't think was released in the United States as a single, interestingly enough. But Head Games is the song I heard. That's the one that really fired me up. I turned it up and I was like, wow, This one doesn't get enough credit. I mean, you hear it plenty, right? But you gotta, sometimes you just have stuff in the background and you don't really pay a lot of attention. I turned this up. It's got a searing guitar from Jones, and Lou Graham's just like intensity and urgency is just like, see what I did there? It was just, it's a really rocking song. It's a great way to start off your Monday. So that's what you're listening to today. Who didn't have Foreigner Records, The Greatest Hits? Remember that? The album cover it was like a jukebox, and you could slide it out, and it was like the names of the songs on the front. Maybe I'll post a picture of that. But everyone, you had to have that one in your record collection. But Head Games, really, really good song. Loved hearing that this week, and I'm cranking it up today. I hope you are. And whatever you're doing today, I hope it involves music. You guys love Foreigner or what? Have a good one, and as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.